Aloha, friends. This is part two of Channeling Jane Roberts, February 20th, 2020. Hello, Jane. I'm sitting in a lonely gas station on the side of the highway in Kinston, North Carolina. I picture you being right at home here. It's 9:16 a.m., and I'm hoping you come through. And then she came through. I do like it. The old country nostalgia, the frying meat on the grill, the cowbell on the door. It reminds me of my earthly life as Jane. I miss many things about my old life. Not that I wish to go back, so to speak. I'm comfortable in my present state of consciousness, as all of you should be. Granted, you need not hyper-focus on your perceived self-consciousness, meaning the entrenched way you perceive yourself and your reality. If you loosen up and tune into possible probabilities, you will see other options. These options are like trailheads. You can alter your designated future by deviating down one of these alternate trails, much like you did when you moved to North Carolina. You changed the trajectory of your life as it would have been. You created probabilities that weren't so probable prior. You achieved one of your dreams. Remember when you signed the papers to buy a particular house in somewhat desperation to manifest the dream? When it fell through, you declared that an upgrade was in the works rather than becoming upset or discouraged. You stuck with this until it manifested. Now, in hindsight, you realize it was the best thing that could have happened. The original place would have been a mistake. The second place, now seen as a blessing. Intuition is a powerful guide, and it taught you that when things don't go as planned, there is likely something you would perceive as better, or in your words, an upgrade. Rob and I had a similar experience when buying a home. When we first saw our home to be, we hardly noticed it, drove past it, only to fall in love days later when we actually saw it, actually tuned in to the place. We were beside ourselves as to how we missed it before. In this way, things can be held for you until the timing is right, until things come into alignment. So one need never worry that something that is for them might be lost in some way. Your co-creations are created by you and are for you. They can, however, be forfeited if and when you fail to trust yourself or act in haste due to fear or some other thought process that contradicts that trust. Let us apply this to love. When you know and trust yourself, love is not a complicated matter. When one is emotionally distraught or desperate, love becomes an impossible maze. When two people are in alignment, love is as natural as an unfurling flower in the morning sun. If only one is aligned, it's like forcing the petals open, which damages and mars the flower. Love should not necessarily be sought. If one loves themselves, then that same quality of love is attracted to them. It finds you like a surprise when you weren't expecting. So rest in knowing this, any who desire love from another. Cultivate your self-love so that you yourself become a rich source of love, as many may come into your orbit who are unskilled in love. These particular relationships will prove challenging as they are imbalanced. This does not make them impossible, but improbable. Regardless of the outcome, you will grow and expand from these challenging relationships, and a few of them, or a few of you, will create a lasting relationship that can endure almost any storm. I'll speak about those who seek love from a place of distorted self-love. These individuals seek in others what they subconsciously perceive that they lack. If they can manipulate a person to love them, then they obtain a kind of high. This high is similar to a drug-induced high, can become an addiction, and leave the person in a state of withdrawal when that perceived love is no longer available. Codependent love is similar in that both people see each other as that drug or high. Much emotional energy is wasted in such endeavors, a spinning of one's wheels. So I reiterate, the best possibility or foundation for mutual love is a rich self-love. One who knows themselves can know others. One who loves themselves will flourish at loving others. Of course, what I'm saying here is not something new. We perceive this as something you wish to talk about with your fellows, and although it's a common topic, it never gets old. Just like genuine love itself never gets old, but matures like a fine wine or live oak. I was fond of a nice glass of wine under the big trees and a cigarette. The simple pleasures of life never got old, or lost their meaning for me either. They kept me grounded and grateful, simple in my complexities, together in my separateness. Ah, a new location. Funny how there is a time lapse from your perspective, but a continuation from mine. For me, it's like that pause between thoughts, whereas for you, a different day or different location. As I told you, we will start slow and perhaps get into more heavier stuff as you adjust to these transmissions. Although I must say that much of the heavy stuff I dove into during my time as Jane. I'm still Jane from your perspective, but I don't feel as compelled as I did then. I'm content to have what amounts to morning chats over a cup of coffee, but willing to go wherever our hearts take us, so to speak. Happy to hear the raindrops on your car's roof and reminisce at the leafless trees on a cold winter day. Your present surroundings take me back to those precious moments not so long ago. Feel free to drop a question in if there's something you want to ask. Actually, I have no questions at the moment. I'm happy to listen and record. I'm happy to have the communication as I pictured it being a bit more difficult, perhaps. Maybe you can speak about a bit about that. Well, as you've developed your sense of multidimensionality, you've opened the possibilities of tuning in to other strands of consciousness. You're now moving beyond believing it possible to actually doing it, much like with your painting. You believed it possible first, then you did it, and like anything, you improved with practice. I must say that if I were still incarnate on Earth, I would be a fan of your work. I love the bright colors and varied themes. Robert would like it as well, as he was a gifted painter himself. I played with it in my time, but some seem to have a built-in ability, sometimes stemming from the learning of former selves. Wow, that's really cool. Thanks. I think this is a good place to leave it for today.